Well, guys, it is time for another weekly CBC podcast. This week, of course, the big topic of discussion will be right at the end, which is going to be a lot of talk in regards to what happens with everything involving Spider-Man. So before we get to that, thank you to everybody that's recently become a member of the channel for supporting us for a couple bucks. And of course, you guys get additional topics throughout the week and additional content, such as the latest episode of Hawkeye and, of course, the upcoming last one. If you join now, you get 130 plus audio commentaries, all backdated for years at this point. Of course, a brand new video called The Hot Take, where I look at the hot take that Spider-Man 2 is bad. I give my opinion on why maybe some people feel this way, what I think about this, why people are coming at it now, and all sorts of things. Of course, that video has already gotten a great reaction. Bonus discussions this week will include the Batman getting recut to add the Joker for better or for worse. And the final bonus topic, which, yes, there's plenty of them, will be the future of Toby and Andrew in the Spider-Verse. In case you can tell already, obviously we're talking Spider-Man and spoilers in this podcast as well. So I hope you've seen the movie. That's right, it's your friendly neighborhood podcast, arriving on time as usual, depending on when you watch it, but not on YouTube for the member section this week because we recorded a day late so we can get a lot of Spider-Man talk in this because people are going to want to hear the Spider-Man talk. So, as always, this is your host, Armin, and I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can follow me on Twitter at Mitch692.
So, obviously, there's going to be a lot to talk about. There's actually been a very eventful week for Marvel and a week for DC, which is why we got a DC topic in here. So I think we should, just get straight into this podcast. So, CW's Gotham Knights. And at first I was like, well, you know what? WB, DC, you're very smart with this one because you're going to synergize this with the game, which is going to be a hit. You're doing good. And then you're like, well, okay, hold on. Let me read the press release and the article on this, right? And then the more you read, the more you realize, how do you keep missing the boat on this so bad? And it's like, I, how do I even phrase this? How do I phrase this?
It's going to be trash next.
I was at a loss for words, and even one of my friends who's so excited for Gotham Knights, he messaged me, he was like, dude, just wait till you see this. I was like, why don't you go read the paragraph? And it took him like a couple minutes, and he gets back to me. He goes, oh no, I take back what I said. Like, so for people that might have missed the news, so CW's Gotham Knights will be nothing like the video game. You're not getting your Barbara Gordon, Dick Grayson, Red Hood. You're not getting that. Instead, you're getting what seems to be Damian Wayne teaming up with children of other villains. So, like, one of them is obviously going to be the child of Harley Quinn and Joker, and he or she is going to be very much, I'm not like that, but they're going to have tendencies. Ooh, it's going to be like Poison Ivy Jr., Scarecrow Jr., everything about this. The moment it hits your brain, you're like, this is exactly what I don't want. And then you combine
like,
a CW.
I watched this, or I've heard of this. It's Disney's Disenchanted, or whatever it's called, where
100%.
it's the villains. I can't remember what the name of that show is. It was that memorable. Not that I ever watched it, but
I
think it looked like a Disney Channel show as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. So this news was met with, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then the moment you read the thing, you're like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and that's kind of the takeaway here. And again,
yeah,
they could do something interesting. They could. Take what I'm saying and listen to it. They could. But if I've learned anything from the CW, unless you're Superman and Lois, I'm not trusting you. Because, like...
And even with Superman and Lois, like, how long has that show got left?
Of being good? Oh, I don't know. They're going to jump the shark at some point, I feel, and it's going to suffer.
It's always a ticking time bomb on that network.
Like, and... for reference, for people that are like, well, how do you know it's going to be like, oh, these knockoff villains and everything? One, that's the pitch on the show. Two, Batwoman's been doing this. They're like, is it the Mad Hatter? Oh, it is. Oh, no, wait. It's a guy that bought a bunch of hats off of eBay.
Is that literally what happens in Batwoman?
Yep.
Christ.
I'm not even making this up. I was
Christ.
told, and I was like, I'm gonna catch up just to see Poison Ivy, and then I regretted catching up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with the show. It's
Christ.
I I don't get who this is for. I don't get why this exists. It doesn't. It seems like it's not even connected to the proper CW universe. Like this is a new thing. It's not even part of the Arrowverse. So you're losing people there as well. I don't know.
I mean, it won't be
genuinely
part
don't
of it,
know.
but then it will be part of it because
Oh,
they'll
of
do a
course, of
Legends
course.
crossover and make it part of the multiverse thing they got going on.
How is Legend still around?
I don't know.
Who asked for more of this? Like,
So Legends is now just what was that one show the CW had that I don't even know if it's still going on that. That's got like
Flash?
20 seasons.
Oh,
The Constantine ripoff.
yeah.
What's it called?
God damn it. The one with the guy with the hair and the short hair
Yeah,
and the car.
yeah.
Uh,
I really can't think what it's called.
Supernatural. There we
That's the
go.
one, yeah.
There we go. Yeah. I had to think of what do the kids at Hot Topic buy today, and it's all Supernatural merchandise.
Is it though?
There is a lot of it.
Christ.
Yeah. At least American kids these days.
I say we don't have Hot Topics, so.
Oh. What do you guys got? Cool Breeze?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I don't even. Yeah.
But yeah, Gotham Knights.
It might exist. There's still time for the universe to correct its mistakes.
It hasn't corrected a single mistake on the CW yet, so I don't think this is going to be the start.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
So, look, that's all we're going to say about this. Honestly, I'm going to be real with you. If people are expecting me to make any updates on this show, castings or anything, you are never getting that again. So, you got the initial, hey, here's what it is, and that's it, and this, and I suppose that's the end of it. I may or may not, for lol's sake, watch the pilot and see what happens, but that's yeah.
I'm just upset they're treating Damian Wayne like this. Like the first time Damian's on screen and they're doing this to him, like, come on, someone stop the CW, please.
I mean,
it's not fair.
Look, the first time they did Nightwing on the screen, we still got Titans, and that's a blemish. Yeah. But hey, that's it. I got no segue. I'm done. I'm done talking about this garbage. That's it. We're done. The Black Panther recasting situation. This topic will not go away. No matter what you do, it's not going away. This time, the latest edition is, well, Chadwick would have wanted the recasting to happen. This comes directly from his brother, right? So,
yeah.
I get what he's saying. I get what other people are saying. Chadwick would have wanted Black Panther to continue to live on and be recast. But I also, as always, I get the stance that Marvel Studios has with this and the uncomfortable nature of the whole situation. So, I mean, what's your take on this, Mitch?
Well, I know he's family with Chadwick, so this might not hold that much weight. I find it very difficult to talk for people that have passed.
Yeah.
It never makes me feel comfortable when someone's like, oh, they never would have wanted that. I was like, but how do you know?
Yeah.
Like, because even family can surprise you.
Yeah.
Like, that would never have happened before in Chadwick's career. So how can you say for absolute certainty that he wouldn't have wanted that to continue? Like, if he came out and said, yeah, I don't want the role recast, or I want the role to be recast, fair enough. But then that would mean his private life, he'd give away his situation that was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Which he clearly didn't want. So, and obviously Marvel knew. It's like, I can't imagine they wouldn't have had that. Actually, did they know? I'm going to assume that they knew, right? And if they did, they would have had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'd assume again, but that's just all an assumption. At the end of the day, it's no one's decisions to make but Marvel's.
Yep.
Like, you can disagree with it, fine, cool, your prerogative. You can agree with it, fine, cool, your prerogative. But it's their decision to make. They make the films. You can't make that choice for them. If they don't want to recast, they don't want to recast. It's as simple as that. That's you just gotta respect it and get on with your life.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. It goes in both ways, and I get it. Again, I get it. But also, this is one of those things where it gets onto a slippery slope where there's been people in the entertainment industry that have said in their will, told their estate, I do not want my career represented after I pass. And just recently, Sony and Tom Holland are like, we're going to make it about this guy, and we're making a pick, and Tom Holland's going to play this character, and I can't remember who it is for the life of me now. And I was like, that's very disrespectful. Like,
is that the biopic one?
Yes. Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't think what his name is.
It was like a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on it just because it's been like a week and a half and everything else has been skewed. But like, that's straight up disrespectful to me. Like somebody that when they were alive was saying, when I pass, I don't want me to be portrayed by other actors or biopics or anything. And they're just like, yeah, but money and Sony, Tom Holland.
Fred Astaire.
Yes. That's it. That's the scenario. And also, remember right before the world went to hell, we talked about the fact that the estate of a deceased actor sold his likeness and they were bringing him back through CG and sound alikes, and he was going to star in a big... What the hell is that about? And even that actor was noted for saying, if a technology like that exists, I don't want it done with me. They're like, but money. So, both of these situations, all these situations always make me feel uncomfortable because it's like, there's something weird about it. Like very, very weird. Like the Stan Lee cameo. I want to bring it around to that. Marvel Studios said you are not getting any more Stan Lee cameos because he's passed away and we're respecting that. And then you have Sony and Venom out here toss him on a magazine as like Person of the Year or whatever. It's like, it just makes me feel a little weird, like it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Again, I know people are going to agree and disagree on both sides of this in the comments, and cool, but I understand there is this fine line you got to walk around with this thing. So respect the choice that was made by the people involved with it. And if the end product is terrible and they needed T'Challa to make it work, well then, see, nobody's bigger than the character,
Even then, I'd find that very hard to be like, oh, well, you should have recast him then if the movie was bad. It's like, well, like, is it because, is it bad because he wasn't recast? It's like, and then like, he kind of like using his name as a reason that feels a bit, But it's, I would love to see T'Challa carry on. That character absolutely should carry on, personally. But it's like, who else do you get? Like, yes, there's 100 different actors that could play that role.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, there is. But it just, the way Boseman done it, you can't replace that.
No.
Also, who would want? Yes, you're gonna get some actors who absolutely would love to do that role and carry that legacy on, but the weight and the pressure of that's gonna be one of those roles where it's like, I don't want to touch that. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was like the Heath Ledger scenario where, man, like, it's like, oh, how long do you wait? And then,
And also that one is slightly different because they keep they never carried on the Joker in that iteration of the Batman movies.
Yep.
Like the next one, the Jared Leto, was a totally different universe and variation. That's something different. If Marvel rebooted and had Black Panther, sure, go ahead and recast. It's a different reality.
Yeah. Or if they go into the multiverse, it's a different actor. Sure, there you go. But I understand what they're saying. I understand what other people are saying, but this is where just I guess that's where we leave it at until. Let's just wait to see what happens with the film. Again, this film has had every misstep imaginable happen at this point, so I don't know what else could happen. Like.
I was gonna say that they can't go through any more crap with this movie. I would not want to be anyone working on this movie because of the sheer pressure and weight of, you're tributing an actor, a friend, and like an icon to millions of people everywhere. It's like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
It's a tightrope that I would not want to walk.
Definitely not. So that's our thoughts on that. Again, we're gonna have Black Panther by the end of 2022, possibly, depending on how that all goes. But we'll talk more about with the Panther soon. So stay tuned. Well, it finally happened. The big man himself has shown up. He's officially part of the MCU, the Kingpin. Vincent D'Onofrio, that troll. He's back. He wasted no time spoiling that for everybody on the internet, like 5 minutes after the episode was out, when I was a boy. Perfect.
What a tweet.
Yep.
But he was not in the episode. Let's just.
Yeah. He was in the photo.
he was in a photo in the episode, but he was not physically in the episode.
Which, fine, it still works. So, I mean, you combine this with the fact that literally that day or 24 hours later, you were also seeing Charlie Cox back. It is good to officially make those things canon. It is.
See,
good.
What's interesting, you say about them making them canon. The Hawkeye writers or director have said episode 6 will tell you if those shows are canon or not.
Oh.
Which, every time we've had a Marvel show in the last year, they've always said something in the opposite. Like, it's never gone how they said. Like, Bucky, Sebastian Stan being like, yeah, watch the show to find out if they're biased. Like, obvious queer bait in there. And what was the other things? I know WandaVision did it.
Everything Paul Bettany ever.
It's true. It's just like, yeah, well, you keep saying stuff, but it never pans out how people automatically assume you mean. No. It's like, no. I think they're clearly going to be canon. I don't see how you can have the audacity to get those guys back and then not make their stories canon. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll find out on Wednesday.
I mean, I think a part of this, the bigger picture here is there's quite clearly plans in motion now for more Kingpin, more Daredevil. Echo is going to tie into so these characters being back is not just a sigh of relief. It's a sign of, hey, no, you're going to see more of them. Like that is.
It's a sign that everyone's saying that Feige hated literally everything was full of crap. Why would he get them back if he didn't like them? Yeah. It's as simple as that. So I'm validated.
That's we can be sure that he has a little latch door in his office for Finn Jones, like Mr. Burns has for Homer, where he's going to hit it, he's just going to fall through it. So Finn Jones probably out, but the rest of them, it's a give or take.
You can keep Jessica Henwick. Like, you can keep her.
Yeah, you can. You can keep her. So with Kingpin here now, what do you think the future holds for him?
I hope Mayor Fisk is what I really hope.
Yep, same. That's
I know, because this kind of ties into Spider-Man as well. There's a little line in that movie that I found really interesting, but that's for that topic, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure where, because Kingpin's like a multi-character villain.
Yeah,
he's just one of those that just transcend the one character villain in the comics. So you can pretty much go anywhere with him. Like, maybe it's Kingpin doing the Dark Avengers and not Osborn.
That would honestly be great. Like, he could be the new Thunderbolt Ross style character. Yeah.
Like, you make him bigger because they like using that word. It's just like, okay, Marvel, I get it. No, you make him like an actual, proper, legitimate threat, not just, I got beaten by a blind guy.
Well, he's got a cane now, which I would hope shoots stuff
That's
out
true.
of it. So,
I hope that diamond is massive and actually like clocks someone over the head with it.
poor Clint, he's gonna have a diamond indentation in his forehead.
He just like whacks Spider-Man out a window with it. Because that's what we need, right? If you don't have Holland going up against D'Onofrio in Spider-Man 4, what's the point?
I mean, that would be the way I would take it. So
it's like you need him in there.
Yeah,
can't keep D'Onofrio on TV forever.
It's true. It's true. He's too good
Man
for
was
it.
Edgar in Men in Black. Marvel, come on, show some respect.
Well, I guess that's going to be it for that. We're going to obviously talk more about Hawkeye and everything after next week's episode. So we'll cut this topic a little shorter, and
because we'll get a very clear picture next week.
Exactly. So senseless to speculate now, and could be undone next week. So next week there'll definitely be. Let's do it. No Way Home discussion.
Yeah, boy.
So just right off the bat, the film was terrible.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I've been sitting on this since Wednesday. I hated it. What a
same.
Mess.
I went in expecting garbage. It broke me. It's
this.
I would put it up there with like Venom and Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man of exactly how to do everything opposite from those films, because this film was goddamn amazing. Oh my god.
TASM was great.
TASM 1 was great, but not 2. Not 2.
I'm firmly on if TASM 2 could just change its villain problem, that movie would have been great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You take the villains out, it's a really good movie. The second they like show up, it's like, oh,
yeah,
this is really bad.
Which the reason I started the conversation by saying the film was bad and going to this, because I wanted to tie it all around to how this film managed to add more depth to the Raimi trilogy and the TASM duology, all while
servicing Holland.
Yeah, I don't know how much more I could explain or how much love I could toss at this film. Like, honestly, anything I say, I don't think I'll do it justice, which is how much I love this film.
It's a movie that absolutely does not work on paper.
No, not at all.
Nothing about this movie should have worked. No. Whatsoever. Like, at all. They somehow had a little miracle going, and it just... Is it slightly messy in some places? Yeah, but you have 1,000 characters you're juggling. It's going to be a little bit messy, but like everyone gets their moment, and you get everything you ever could have possibly wanted from this movie, and it just works. Something about it just works.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort to make a movie this big with so many concepts that, again, some people seeing this film are not familiar with everything going on in the MCU. So simplifying it and using the multiverse and all these other factors and making it work is just it's a miracle.
Yeah. I might get some crap for this. I think it's better than Spider-Verse. Well, it done Spider-Verse better than Spider-Verse to me.
I think I might be with you there, specifically because I think the third act of Spider-Verse gets a little too unhinged.
It's rushed.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's more spider people. Let's go do the end. It's just like, why? Whereas this, they're like, no, we have the 5 villains. They're all here. We're gonna do a thing with them. Then we're gonna only bring in 2 more. Admittedly, it has the benefit of those characters have had 5 movies together for character development, so you don't need to really do anything with them, but it still develops them as characters.
But even if you haven't watched those films, you still appreciate it. Like, I was there with people that have never seen any of the old stuff, and they all knew what was going on. They understood it, and there's that moment in the film where they Ryan Johnson you, because they subvert all expectations, and Peter convinces all the villains, be like, hey, help me make cures for you. And they're all like, yeah, okay. And it's like, wow. And then
honestly, that might be like the definitive Spider-Man moment in anything for me. Like, sod the comics, and that is Peter Parker to a T. He's like, no, I'm not letting him do it. We're gonna fix it. It's like,
and then how that plays out through the rest of the film where the other two Peter Parkers get substantial roles in this in amount of time. Like,
Yeah, they
you
got
know,
about a good 40 minutes.
yeah, it all works with each other. And then, you got the final act where Peter almost, he gets unhinged. He almost becomes like a
Yeah.
Frank Castle type character. And that all has payoff too. Like, everything about this film and what they were doing with it, I absolutely loved it. Like, it's
The
so much
hardest
fun.
day of my life was Thursday.
Not talking to anybody about it.
Not literally, like you come out and you're like that gif of that guy just sitting there waiting. It's just like, I can't talk about it to anyone. So I hate it. Like you're just sitting there waiting, and then like people finally start talking about it. Of course, it's just a wave of reactions coming. It's just like, yes, fun.
Mhm.
No, that was. It's
Yeah.
crazy just how good this movie is. Like, I can't. I'm still not over how they pulled it off.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fallout happening, obviously, with the film. We brought up a conversation in regards to Hawkeye and Kingpin and all this and Daredevil. That's a big factor in this film as well, because you can line up the events of this film with Hawkeye. Like,
Yeah. Well,
there's,
yeah, because you literally at the end, spoilers, he swings past the same Christmas tree.
yep.
I was like,
So,
hey, wait a minute. I know that.
which also in turn makes you kind of know about his identity, because, like, hey, why doesn't Clint reference Spider-Man or Peter Parker? Actually, this
Yeah.
film explains that to you in spades. They're like, this is why. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, so now that makes sense. It's
If there's anybody out there ever saying that this Spider-Man hasn't lost something, like, even after the Homecoming and Far From Home, I think you're like egregiously ignoring those two movies entirely.
yeah,
But like, especially after this one, it's like the kids lost everything.
everything.
Literally everything.
It's like, no, we're not exaggerating. At the end, he has nothing, nobody. He's literally alone. Like, that is.
He
Oof.
doesn't even have the suit that people have been complaining about.
Yeah, it's.
That thing is long gone.
Yeah, man. I, you know, after I got out of the film, I was really thinking about it and thinking about it. I'm like, I think this is my favorite Spider-Man film. I really do think it is. It's a celebration of Spider-Man.
Yeah, my initial reaction was I think I like Homecoming better. Just 'cause I think there's something special, like watching all of them recently. There's something special about Homecoming for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so tight as a movie, and it's like it is Peter Parker Spider-Man. But then it's just sitting on this for a couple of days, and you're like, I've been struggling more and more to find a reason why it wouldn't be the best.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can have a type of scenario where you're like, it's the best, but it's not my personal favorite, which I fall into that a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
My MCU list, I'm like, well, my favorite's the first Avenger, but it's clearly not the best. So I like films more than I think are better. But again, personal favorite and then the best, completely different topics. So I could see how somebody could argue for both. And especially in this film when, like, you have those moments where, like, I mean, this film goes out of its way to fix the Amazing Spider-Man, for the love of God. Like, they really do.
That's the scene where they're on the not Eiffel Tower, what an idiot, the Statue of Liberty, and it's like, oh no, rewind it back a minute. You are not lame. You're amazing. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like, thank you.
I don't think I've laughed harder at a scene in a Spider-Man film than Andrew Garfield hoisting up Tobey Maguire to crack his back.
Crack his back.
And looking like he's just like, I was done. My theater just imploded in laughter. Like, that is peak Andrew Garfield Spider-Man if I've ever seen it. It's perfect. It's
or him just like brushing away the cobweb at Ned's house. It's just like, oh. It's like the first time watching it, you're sitting there, you're going like, all right, spoilers, we literally just lost Aunt May. Like,
yeah.
Just that destroyed me, that entire scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I also got. I'm going to apologize to him on Monday anyway. But Jared, I'm sorry. I inadvertently told you exactly how she was going to die in our predictions for the Nerd Academy. I was like, oh yeah, she's getting hit in the back with a glider. There's no doubt. And then it happens. I'm like, oh no. But yeah, that scene destroyed me. And then it's literally you're jumping straight into Andrew Garfield being like, yeah, I'm the real one. Look, I can hang from the ceiling. It's just like, okay. And then the back of an old man's knee walks through a portal, claiming to be Tobey Maguire, and I'm just like, who is this guy? I just watched Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and you're not Tobey Maguire. He's so old.
Yeah.
He looks older than Alfred Molina.
Yeah, dude. And like, not only that, he looked like he was doing the Harrison Ford, how old do we do it if this is my goddamn last one? Like, that's what he looked like, you know? And, you know, credit to him, you know, credit to Marvel Studios for being able to bring back both of these dudes who have absolute animosity with Sony.
I mean, credit to bringing back all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, imagine if you had to replace one actor in this movie. Like, yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
No, not at all.
A lot of it works because it's them.
Yep.
Even though Jamie Foxx was like, I'm not playing Max Dillon, I'm playing Jamie Foxx here. Like, be gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, I'll let you off Jamie Foxx because you're Jamie Foxx.
Oh. Yeah, it's so...
Like, credit for them to getting everyone back. It's...
Mm-hmm. Which, you know, we're going to talk about our thoughts on the future of Toby and Andrew in a bonus members discussion later on. But there's just a lot of this that when you watch it, you're just like, it feels right at home and it feels like it belongs. Like, you know, this film was the end result of a fallout of two studios. And some elements of it could have felt like this is being forced in here. And admittedly, some of it you feel like it kind of does. But the fact that it all worked and kind of actually flows from one thing to another really shocked me. Even the stuff with the comedy with Ned, for example. Like, Ned can do magic now. Okay. Okay.
Basically a wizard.
He's a wizard now.
Also, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He's totally not going to become a bad guy and try and kill Spider-Man.
Yeah. That was a great scene as well.
Totally not going to happen. Now, I kept looking at Jake the entire way through this movie because I'm like, you lost a crap ton of weight. But in this, I was like, is he bigger? Is he the same size? Is he smaller? I really couldn't tell.
I feel like they put a fat jacket on him. Like, he had a jacket that looked like it was huge on him. And I think it was for that reason, because if you see him anywhere else, he's lost a lot of weight. So I think they were kind of like he was in the process of losing the weight. And they're like, just wear this jacket to make you look poofy again. Like,
it's just really weird. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
It makes it worse because I literally saw Homecoming and Far From Home the night before. I back-to-backed it. And then I couldn't tell. I'm like, is my eyes just dodgy? Like, what's going on? No, like, even that they get stuff. They get more stuff to do in this movie than they have the last two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, they get a lot of character development, which at the end, you know, all the character development services Peter, where everybody officially forgets that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Yeah. No, they don't even remember Peter Parker anymore. Like, he's been wiped off the planet Earth. Like, nobody remembers him, right?
Well, I hope so, because he literally video calls into the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm Spider-Man. Wish me luck. It's like, oh, that's going to be awkward if someone goes back and watches that one.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to affect everything, because is it just going to be like a scrambled face? Does that get wiped out of existence? Do they?
I assume like the Mysterio video as well. It's all going to get just magically erased.
Yeah, for convenience sake.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess let's talk about the ending then. So, he's on his own. And with Peter on his own officially, he gets his own apartment. He's swinging off into New York. There's crime. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man now. He's out there doing the crime fighting. This is the big one, right? Like, because it leaves them open to more MCU entries, but it also kind of closes the door that if he doesn't show up again, you could be like, oh yeah, nobody knows who he is. Why would he show up again? Like it works both ways to me.
Well, it's interesting. I think this might be the first one they have where it doesn't say Spider-Man will return.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not sure if Homecoming and Far From Home did it, but it had Doctor Strange will return, which, dear God, I need to talk about that teaser.
Yeah. Well,
But at the end of the day, you know, no, I know they're talking about it and they're contradicting each other, but you know, why would you leave this movie as you left it with that first post-credit scene as well if you're not going to make another set of movies?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
just have to. You've left him in such a place. You can't just leave it at that.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Like, it would feel dirty if they didn't do another 3.
it would too, because it just feels like it comes out of nowhere. But again, you talk about the post-credit scene. They leave a piece of the symbiote behind in the MCU. Well, like that's quite clearly there for a reason, right?
Yep.
Because they're gonna do their own Venom story. So, yeah, it's...
Which the goofiest crap you will ever see.
Oh my God, that did not belong in this movie.
No, like everything else, this scene leaked because I remember us talking about it, and it's like they literally brought him in to just drop off. He literally just like snot rockets on a bar on an island and then gets teleported. It's like this is Sony to a T.
That was quite clearly the work of the genius that made this all possible. So thank Avi Arad in the credits.
I mean, in fairness, the man's was responsible for the 5 Spider-Man movies prior.
Also, he's the man that was able to take Iron Man from Universal and give it back to Marvel Studios. So
yeah,
I mean,
he's cracked as a nut. But
in a weird way, you gotta thank Uncle Avi.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to do that because he's the uncle that may or may not do something like questionable. But
just don't keep the younger kids near him.
Yeah, it's
just in case. You never know.
Uncle Avi might be like, "Hey kid, you want to be the next Spider-Man? Losing Aunt Man?" And oh no.
Thank. A lesser movie would have had the first meeting of these 3 to be absolutely comedic crap. But this one has the balls to make it really sad.
Yep.
And it's like, oh no, we know exactly what you're going through, kid. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And I like how Andrew completely doesn't say he lost Uncle Ben. He's just like, oh yeah, I lost Gwen. And it's like, but you lost more than Toby, so put it in that you lost. Like, come on now.
Well, also there's all the like how they talk about everything in regards to them, and hell, this movie even explains the MJ Mary Jane Watson name in relation to Michelle. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Huh. It's like, yeah, I don't go by Watson, it's Jones. It's like, okay.
Yeah, cool. So thanks. That clears that up. So she is the real MJ. So there you go. Take that. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
This movie is what Rise of Skywalker wanted to be. And what should have been.
Yeah.
Because it's the fan service movie, but we have like a unicorn turd in this movie. Because it's rare. It just worked.
The difference is this one wasn't directed by somebody incompetent like J.J. Abrams.
It also wasn't being like... I'm going to just straight up say fingered then, but that's the wrong terminology. It wasn't just getting messed about with by everyone.
Yeah.
They weren't scrambling to get something done.
Truth.
It's just...
Yeah.
It's just a pure love letter to the last 20 years of Spider-Man.
Oh, 100%. Which, look, guys, there's going to be plenty more Spider-Man talk coming at you over the next couple weeks, and then, months, really, years at this point. There's plenty more Spider-Man coming at us. We'll be talking about it. We just wanted to make sure we get some of our all sort of scattershot thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home here. There'll be more, of course, as we said before, if you guys are members, there'll be more bonus topics coming, so watch for those. And, for now, well, I'm going to have to go see this film again, probably tonight, I'll be real with you.
So Defoe's the best he's ever been in this movie.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
3-4 floors. It's just like, where was this in the Toby movies? Like,
Dude, they were missing the circle triangle prompt for grapples.
Yeah.
Dude, they were literally just missing those because this film,
Yeah.
they legit do moves from the video game.
Yeah, yeah. I know Holland said they did. Is like, oh yeah, there's a movie. It's like, mate, there's several.
Yeah.
Like he does the whole he lifts him up and then kicks him down, and then throw him over the back. It's like, yeah, you can tell he played the game.
At one point, he straight up power bombs him through 3 floors.
I loved that fight.
I was like, boy, this is turned into a wrestling match. I'm in. That's...
But this, they said that they borrowed some like Sam Raimi film like making techniques, and you can really feel it.
Yeah,
but like it doesn't feel like Sam Raimi. It feels like inspired by Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
like when he's in, they're all in Happy's apartment, and he just gets that spider sense moment.
Yep, that was
it. It's like the camera pulls back behind him, but he's still in the like dead center frame to where he was, and then it's like the goblin's coming out. Like that was just a Raimi shot, but like really long. I loved it.
Yeah, it felt like the Doc Ock waking up for the first time and the Evil Dead. Like it had that vibe to it. And Norman Osborn is something of a scientist himself. Dude, my theater everybody was cheering and clapping when that happened. Everybody knew the meme.
The only reaction I had in mind, and God bless him, was for Andrew. I don't know whether that's because people didn't recognize Toby, because I sure as hell didn't.
That happened at mine. Like people, there was a couple friends of mine, even Shay, she looked at me, she was like, Toby, right? I was like, yeah, it's, yeah.
It's like, you can hear Campy being like, yeah, no, that's fake. That's not.
Yeah.
Look at the lighting on his nuts.
Yeah. Look at that sack. Hasn't dropped far enough.
But, Alpha Mini is like, oh yeah, I want it to come back. It's something different. It's like, mate, you literally said the power of the sun line about 8 times.
Yeah.
It's like, fair enough, but damn, he said that a lot.
Yeah. No,
also, the lizard was pure chaos in this movie, and I adored it.
I love the lizard.
He's just like he's about to go like crap hit the fan, right? And it's just like, oh, yeah.
I can help you, Max. Let me guess, turn him into a lizard? Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. Oh, so
he's just
good.
chilling in that van, like, oh, it started at last. It's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
You're literally the Joker of the Spider-Man universe now.
Oh, yeah, it was so good. So good. Look, like I said, we'll be talking more about it. We're going to wrap up this podcast, let everybody get going so they can watch it again this weekend or for a first time, or maybe you're sitting there at the movie waiting for it to start and listening to this, which we've had people say it's like they don't care about spoilers. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, have fun. So
this is one of those movies where even knowing everything we did, it didn't change anything.
Yep.
And I'm usually like that anyway, but there are sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, that happened exactly how I thought it did. But this one, like, even knowing that, like, the bullet points, it didn't go how I expected it to go.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, we knew Peter was gonna try and rehabilitate the villains, and it's like, oh, we didn't literally realize that he means cure them.
Yeah.
Fix them and then send them back. It's just like, okay. God bless this movie. I loved it.
Loved it. All of it. Can't wait to talk more about this. Obviously, we'll be doing that way more. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this week's podcast. Hopefully, we see you guys in the member section with those extra videos. And, of course, next week where we'll be talking about box office fallout. And there'll undoubtedly be a bunch of quotes in regards to what happens next, which we'll go into. So, until next time, everybody, thank you. And see you all later.